Hi, my name is Anushka, and for those who've looked at my work, you'll see that I've done quite a few other videos on YouTube, mostly about an illegal antenatal and postnatal scam at Norfolk Park Hospital in Harrow. I've also detailed a lot about child trafficking, all relevant to a court case that I've been doing, and few other videos. Today, I would like to talk to you about having cancer. Cancer is one of those things that I see affects basically everyone. You can be any age. I've seen little babies, children, teenagers, people in their 20s, 30s like myself, or older, 40s, 50s, you name it, middle-aged, elderly. I know cancer is one of those things. It doesn't seem to matter how much money you have or what kind of background you come from, what religion, what race you are. If you get cancer, that's it, apart from obviously skin cancer, which they say is caused from overexposure to the sun, although sometimes a rare case of skin cancer may come from if you get badly burnt as a kid, or obviously if you smoke, then you're bound to get lung cancer. Well, not everyone, I would hope, but they say these are the main causes of those sorts of cancers. Every other kind of cancer, because let's face it, you can get cancer anywhere. You can get cancer in your eyes, in your nose, in your heart, in your kidneys, in your colon, in your bones, in your blood, which they call leukemia, in your brain. You can get cancer absolutely anywhere, and most of the time people just don't know what causes it. You can have any kind of lifestyle and you can end up with cancer. Cancer has really affected me a lot in my life. I've seen a lot of people with cancer. Unfortunately, I have recently been diagnosed with cancer myself. I've got colon cancer, and I was diagnosed over 2 months ago. I have to admit, this has been a really big shock for me. I did accept it quite quickly, but it has been incredibly upsetting for me. I mean, I've wondered if I may get cancer one day. Obviously, I really hope that I wouldn't. And I always thought if I was going to get cancer, I would get cancer somewhere else. And colon cancer is really quite unheard of. There's not much publicity, awareness around about it in comparison, say, to you hear a lot about breast cancer or lung cancer, skin cancer. And I have colon cancer, so for me this has been, very difficult and very hard time. I was operated on about 6 weeks ago, and they removed most of my colon, well, about most of my colon, not all of it. I have some of my colon remaining. I had malignant tumour in my colon. I've also got what's called polyps as well, which are all malignant. I still have malignant cancer in the remainder of my colon, so I'm now on treatment. One thing I would say to everyone, if you had symptoms like I do, then, please go to a doctor. I want as many people to have as much awareness about cancer as possible. Particularly colon cancer is one of these cancers that people don't talk about because, I don't know, maybe people are kind of embarrassed about it. It's all like to do with having diarrhea a lot, or maybe you're constipated a lot. In my case, I've had diarrhea most of my life. I've had suffered from what's called inflammatory bowel disease. I have ulcerative colitis. I only got diagnosed with that as well about 5 weeks ago, and so I've had, they say that it can actually lead to cancer if left untreated. They think this is one of the causes for me, although they think also because of what happened to me when I gave birth that it made my colon worse. They think this is a cause of my cancer, but really they just don't know. Anyway, if you have diarrhea for years and years, then you're probably likely to, or obviously when you don't have it every day, then you're most likely to have something called inflammatory bowel disease, which means you can either have colitis or Crohn's disease. I also have colitis, and obviously I had no idea. I've had really suffered with my health all my life and with the medical profession. Anyway, about 8 months ago, my diarrhea got so bad. I was getting diarrhea, chronic diarrhea every single day, and terrible, absolutely terrible abdominal pain. And I knew that for every day like this for weeks, something is very wrong with me. I go to a doctor. Finally, actually turned out to be a specialist, and he told me that, yeah, you probably have Crohn's disease, but I think you also have colon cancer, which was a very big shock. I got tested, and he told me that, yeah, I'm certain. And you know, I found out a lot of information, and you know, it's true. The key signs are if you've got diarrhea, or sometimes I've talked to other people about colon cancer, because the internet is such a wonderful thing, that they say if you get blood in your stools as well, that's another really big sign of cancer, along with terrible abdominal pain. You have a lot of abdominal swelling, which I have, I still have. I just want to bring a lot of awareness about colon cancer. I still have cancer, and I'm currently having treatment for it. I'm having the equivalent of chemotherapy, but in tablet form. It could be worse, I suppose, because although all chemotherapy, all cancer is horrible, I know many people in my life with cancer. Chemotherapy is one of these things. If you go and have it in an IV form, then it usually means all your hair falls out. It's really very horrible. You're queasy all the time. At least for me, you know, I'm having it tablet form. I really just hope to beat my cancer one day. I just want to get better. I just want awareness about cancer and colon cancer, and chemotherapy in any form, you know, the way what I'm taking. At the moment, my life is like this. I have to take 22 tablets a day. That's a lot. I've got terrible queasiness all day long from the chemotherapy and from my cancer, but it's also the chemotherapy. That means I have to take anti-nausea tablets, but I take a lot of ginger because that really helps. I take anti-diarrhea tablets because I still get diarrhea every day. I have to take a lot of painkillers because cancer is so excruciatingly painful. I'm very weak. It means I can't walk very far. It's in some ways very debilitating, but you know, this is just the way describing the way cancer is, and I just want awareness. I also have a 2-year-old who I'm looking after all the time, and for me I also find it very hard. I'm British and Irish, and I don't know, colon cancer as well is this sort of thing that people would say, oh, it usually happens to people who are like 50 plus, and you know, not many people get it in their 30s, but I've seen it, you can get cancer at any age. So, but people usually have the symptoms. What you should really ask for is to really go and ask for what's called a colonoscope, because it will completely and utterly save your life. In my case, you know, I got diagnosed with a blood test, but they had to obviously cut me open to see for certain, and they told me my colon was completely riddled with cancer. They cut out the worst of it. But, you know, if you have symptoms like terrible diarrhea, something every day, terrible abdominal pain, or you're really constipated, then I would really urge you, please don't take no for an answer. Go to a doctor as soon as possible and insist for a colonoscope, because it's the only way they can really tell that you have colon cancer. And all cancer, you know, is very, very serious. So I'm just urging people, you know, I want many people to watch this as possible. I just want to bring a lot of awareness about colon cancer, basically, and cancer in general, explain what it's like when you have cancer. I'm like totally freezing cold most of the time as well. The other thing you get with a treatment, and it's very, very hard. Also for me, because as I explained, I'm British and Irish. I live in South Africa at the moment because of mostly to do with the child trafficking prosecution and lawsuit. I have been endlessly harassed now for 4 years because of it, and having cancer, this is an excruciating experience, the whole thing for me. I'm only really here for my daughter's safety. I would really just want to go home to Europe at this point. I want to go back to UK and Ireland, but at the moment I don't have the money to do so. But obviously by September I have to leave because my visa will be expiring. But I just wish at this time I could go home. It's horrendous for me living in the other side of the world where I don't really have support, but I'm here mostly because for my daughter's sake. At least it helped her, but you know, I really wish that I could go home now, but